there will be absolutely no rules on this show. I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or thoughts.
Welcome to the Behind the Boards show.
And we're not going to fabricate ourselves in hopes to please everybody.
New episodes every week. Featuring Nick, Taylor, and Tyler.
But make no mistake, we are not here to make enemies, but to make conversation.
The Behind the Boards show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas and whatever else that you celebrate. Happy New Year. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having an awesome time. I am your host, Nick, and I'm probably pretty sure that most of you are probably wondering, hey, you said there was only going to be that last episode. What's going on? Well, this is a very special Christmas special. Very special Christmas special. That doesn't sound very Grammarly. Is that even a word either? I don't know. But I am here alone because the boys are off this week celebrating Jesus' birthday. He popped out in a barn down by the river. That's a bit vivid. So, that's always been a weird situation, hasn't it? You think at one point Jesus was like, hey, it's cool you're celebrating my birthday and all by giving each other gifts, but when are you going to give me a gift? Something to think about. Today, we are strictly talking about ball. Maybe a sprinkle of hockey here and there. Thursday night football tonight. The San Francisco 49ers face off against the Tennessee Titans. A matchup with playoff implications. Saturday games, Cleveland and Packers go up head-to-head, followed by the Colts and the Cardinals. While Sunday is slated with games like the Panthers and the Buccaneers as they face off, where, let's be honest, Panthers are most definitely going to lose. Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots will be a far better 1 o'clock game to watch. So that's exactly what I'm going to be watching. Will Mac Jones outplay Josh Allen again? We'll have to see. Steelers and Chiefs, and closing out the night, Dallas and Washington. Monday Night Football, Dolphins and Saints. This is going to be a great weekend. All my TVs and anything with a screen will have a game on it. Now let's get into a little ball talk, boys. The Browns get beat out by the Raiders. Interesting game. Congratulations to the Raiders, though. And congrats also to the Browns for Nick Chubb finally getting the ball. He's the only superstar they got now. LA Rams literally was hit so bad by COVID. Von Miller and a bunch of others, 18 players were out. 5 of these guys are starters. This Omicron is crazy. It's the best of a virus, it seems. This thing is leaping from person to person like it's no one's business, is dropping into people. The best pole vaulting virus. This thing is ruining my damn life for the sole reason that players are now being held out. This Omicron is so fucking fast, it seems to. Spreading everywhere. The Sonic the Hedgehog pole vaulting virus is driving me fucking crazy. The NHL shut down till after Christmas, with the players now no longer competing in the Olympics, which I know is a tragedy for some people. The NFL had 200-some people affected. The NBA is trying to figure it out still. This virus is driving me nuts. Look, I love football with everything in me, and I know people love hockey, baseball, basketball, boxing, and whatever other sports just as much as I love football. And when people like us, like me, don't have that ritualistic game day, the excitement leading into the game alone is enough to get me giddy. Even with me experiencing the losses with the Panthers, I'm still ecstatic. And listen, I'm sure there are people in the NFL, NHL, or whatever else with much bigger brains than us here at Behind the Boards. Like, look, we don't know shit about fuck. Me, are just telling you that they are expecting everybody to fucking get it, I think. And I think that might be why the NFL may have handled it pretty poorly with this last outbreak. A bunch of players came out on Twitter super fucking confused as to the decision making, but I think it was just pure panic executed from the NFL and the NFLPA. The spot testing is crazy, but I think now both sides of people when it comes to the virus are saying that this Omicron is literally running fucking wild. And no one wants to deal with it again. But I think it's important to hear both sides. Maybe listen to the news to an extent. But with NFL and spot testing, this is going to be a fucking shit show. There's so much that's going to come into play here. I mean, there's a chance for the remainder of the NFL season that we won't see a team with a full squad, which worries me. There's billions of dollars at stake here. Lawyers from the NFL having discussions with the NFLPA. I mean, there's probably going to be lawsuits happening. This is going to be fucking crazy. I mean, look at the Browns. Clearly they got fucked. Game gets moved up to Monday. Now they play another game on Saturday against the Packers. So what do we do here? What do we do? Do we not test vaccinated players? Do we not test QBs? Because what will happen is we get second, third string, or probably practice guys coming out and throwing ball for the team. No one wants to see a situation like Nick Mullins taking on Derek Carr. What the fuck? This is detrimental. The games and standings are so fucking close, it's crazy. This is going to be the difference of making the playoffs or getting the 14th overall pick. The difference between getting your head coach fired or praised and continuing on. Back on the Browns, though, and Nick Chubb. For some fucking reason, last game, they kept showing Nick Chubb on the sideline. Why? Was he hurt or something? I was so confused. Looked it up at the end of the game and saw there were other people that were also confused. But maybe everyone's kind of been thinking what I've been saying. That some of the receivers aren't getting the ball that much. Some of their star players aren't getting the ball that much. But the people that were attacking the people who were confused kept saying the same shit. 1.2 yards per carry. 1.2 yards per carry. 1.2 yards per carry. Who gives a fuck? Okay? Who gives a fuck? Just like Jonathan Taylor, just like Derrick Henry, and now just like Derek Chubb. It doesn't matter. At some point, that ball is going to get driven at 20 miles per hour to the end zone. I am still confused, though, why they kept showing Nick Chubb. But they eventually were getting him the ball significantly more. Busts one out for 24 yards, and you know what? They almost win the fucking game. What a fucking great game. But goddamn, they could have easily won it. But they had no players or coaches. Now, last place in AFC North. Why aren't the Browns giving Chubb the fucking ball more? It's driving me up the wall. Was OBS right? He was the only player anybody knew. Fucking weird. Fucking weird. Teams will continue a passing offense over and over and over, even if it's not working. But with the run game, and if it's not electrifying enough, and it gets boring, or it is boring, they get off of it immediately. I'm curious what the old school play callers think. That'd be an interesting conversation. But they gave the ball to the third string guy, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you, and what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Like, Nick Chubb wears down that defense like it's no one's business. He works the play action game, which is just mind-blowing to me, that he's not being utilized to the best of his capabilities. And look, everyone has their theories or reasons, but no one really knows for sure unless you're on that coaching staff. Okay? I mean, Nick Saban, we talked about him before on the show here, was not that long ago sitting in that beautiful leather throne watching film on that big ass TV saying, all right, I think that ball used to be run the ball, stop the run, and control field position. And that's not football anymore. And if you think that it is, you're not going to win anymore. Football is being able to move the ball up and down the field. That wasn't that long ago, and he was completely right. But now, in the NFL, as someone who watches it constantly and a lot of it, even of teams I don't like, it's become who can stop the run and drive the ball, which has not been the topic of discussion here in the men's league for a while. But here's the thing. With constantly running the ball, can you run it to the end of the year? Like right now, different weather conditions, this and that and the other thing. Can you stop the run when you know the team is going to run it? Can you get a first down because you can't give the ball back to the other team because you know Aaron Rodgers has 42 seconds left on the clock? Can you get a first down? Can you force the other team to use their timeouts so there isn't an option when there's a minute 10 left for them to do anything but out of bound plays? Can you do that? Because that's what the running game does for you. Like the D-line gets rotated in and out because they get banged up and so on and so forth. So what do you do during those times? If you can keep the defense going when they're rotating and they're tired, definitely opens up a lot more than before. It's very hard to stop a team when they get rolling with the run game. Jonathan Taylor, prime example. Once he opens up, it's game over. And clearly whatever he's doing is working because his odds for getting MVP keep increasing. I think he's third right now, if my memory serves me correctly. Second year in the league. Great fucking player. He's only going to be getting better. This guy sees a gap, shoots it, and hits 22.5 miles an hour. Fucking incredible. An amazing football player. Great athleticism. Last couple of weeks of football is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm absolutely loving this football season. So much craziness, so much fun. Aaron Rodgers playing fucking phenomenal. Rodgers probably going to break the pass to touchdown record held by Brett Favre, which, by the way, he matched the record in 45 fewer games on 1,739 fewer attempts with 193 fewer interceptions. Fucking unbelievable. What an impressive feat. Because people still talk about Brett Favre being so damn good. Like Favre is held up on one of the highest pedestals of four quarterbacks in NFL history. Aaron, though, is throwing crazy balls, doing things that is crazy for me to think and to watch. I think they might have no choice but to give Aaron Rodgers the MVP, which I think is absolutely hilarious because I know people are going to be pissed because of his whole COVID thing earlier this season. Like, what I'm curious of is Rodgers exempt of the spot testing? Like, if they decide not to test quarterbacks, would he get a pass? Because people are not on his side with a lot of things. Everything that comes out of Aaron's mouth is scrutinized or blasted, or something related to being scrutinized or blasted. Then people ask, oh, why is he so guarded? Why doesn't he talk much? Maybe because if he shares any kind of fucking opinion, he gets blasted by every news source known to mankind. He's a Mount Rushmore QB. One of the smartest fucking players of all time. Going through one of the weirdest and hardest times of all time. With what seems to be this revolving door of rules coming in and out as the days go by. That's a big fucking deal. Like, here's the thing. The Packers seem to be going for it. And they want it. They have a lot of veterans. They want it. But if they're losing starters, who really knows at this point? Who knows? Fuck though, man. I'm really upset about this whole COVID thing. Seeing sports put on pauses. I mean, granted, I haven't watched much hockey. I was getting back into it, but damn. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay probably orchestrated this whole thing. Or people thinking Tampa Bay orchestrated this whole thing because, you know, they're going to win anyway. You know, they probably were saying something like, hey, you know, we're going to win Lord Stanley's Cup again. I mean, we might as well just take a little break, get some rest, because you all fucking stink anyway. Nah, I'm just fucking around. But I mean, hey, if you're a Leaf fan, come to the darker blue, baby. Stamkos is breaking records. We got John Cooper, best coach in the league. Speaking of, got COVID, so hopefully he gets better soon. More than a couple teams on the NHL pretty much pushed everything back, put everything on pause. I was thinking that maybe the NFL could do something similar to that. But, I mean, it's not like Omicron is leaving anytime soon. They're still going to have to deal with it when the season continues. But who really knows at this point? Rapid positive tests probably pushed them to pause the season, I guess. But I don't know. Like I said, Tampa's probably going to win anyway. Leafs ain't going anywhere. Boston's still going to come out strong with nothing to show for it. Vancouver and Detroit are going to be in the same state as they're always. And speaking of Detroit, Yzerman, running a team in the NHL that deserves to be in the minor leagues, had an idea that, you know, what's the point of testing vaccinated players? Who knows what's going on, though, really. The way both leagues have been handling COVID is interesting. Homie Omni. That's a good name for it. Or the Sonic the Hedgehog pole vaulting virus. AKA Homie Omni. AKA Omnicron. But it's going to be everywhere. Peyton Manning is apparently interested in owning the Denver Broncos. There's always been rumors and gossip that the Manning family wanted to own a Nope, they didn't want to own a family. The Manning family didn't want to buy a family, but they wanted to buy a team. Jesus. I mean, they probably would become a family, though. Peyton Manning owns a handful of companies. He's arguably the smartest QB the league has ever seen, and I'm almost sure he can bring the Broncos to its former glory. I love the Broncos. I love that team. So much history, so many interesting football seasons. Peyton Manning wanting to buy the team or a part of it or whatever the case could be would be great. Peyton Manning look, Jason Wright becoming the president of the Washington football team is fucking crazy. But Peyton Manning becoming an owner would be so fucking great. He would be highly revered and respected more than he already is. If the Manning family gets a hold of a team, that would be great for the sport of football. And great for whatever team. Whether it's the Broncos or some other team. I mean, I'm sure he could walk into any room right now as a venture capitalist and just be like, listen, I want $50 billion, and they'll probably give it to him. He wants the level of management and process. He wants to be involved in the decision making. I am so excited for him and his family. I really believe this will only make the Broncos better. Will only make the sport better. It's going to be interesting. Peyton is one of the smartest people to hit the field. Super intelligent on and off the field. My worry is this, though, with Peyton wanting to be part of the decision-making process, is this the case of too many cooks in the kitchen? Because, like, him and Elway may butt heads or clash, or would they work together? Would Elway be driven out? Because let's be real, it could be an issue, but I don't know. Like, here's the thing, Elway probably will hand the keys over to Manning anyway, because when Arch Manning is eligible for draft, he's probably going to say, listen, only interested in one team. That's for playing for my uncle. And both Eli and Peyton said that Arch is better than both of them, which is insane to think about if you really think about it. And if you're sitting there right now saying, how is Arch going to end up on the Broncos? Well, the Manning family has a lot of strings in the NFL, and they've pulled them before, and it's worked in the past, and there will probably be no conversation about it. And also, Arch is still in high school, so who knows? He has the pick of whatever school he wants to go to, though. TJ Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers on pace to break his older brother's record of most sacks in their first 5 years in the NFL. Reggie White, rest in peace, holds the record at 81. JJ Watt second at 74 and a half sacks. TJ at 67. 3 games left. If anyone could do it, it's him. This guy was sprinting through 4 players holding him the other night. He's a fucking animal. They're saying he's on pace for defensive MVP. Tough race, though. Very tough race. I think he's in the lead at the moment. But the amount of sacks and plays Micah Parsons has made, the amount of turnovers Trayvon Diggs has, but TJ Watt can make some history here. I mean, I don't think he will break Reggie's record, but he can definitely take his brother's spot for sure. The Steelers are 0-4-1 when TJ doesn't play. They're 7-2 when he's playing. But if he breaks his brother's record, I'm pretty sure he breaks the single season record also, which I believe is 22. 22. 21. Vikings Bears. Jesus. Justin Fields played pretty good. The defense played pretty well, but all I hear is Nagy to be fired. All over again. It's a fucking mess down there, it seems. Vikings win 17-9. You got people yelling, after further review, we stink. Nagy seems like he only calls plays for a pocket passer and not a player like Justin Fields. He had 4 personal fouls. Like, fuck. Granted, one was because they were defending Justin Fields. And also, too, I mean, typically, anything that looks like a punch being thrown, you get immediately ejected. But props to the refs for keeping them in. Speaking of dirty plays, let's run it back a little bit. Mac Jones versus Chargers. Offside is called. Jeffrey Tillery comes around, hits Mac after the play. Little dirty. Andrews jumps to defend Mac Jones. Gets wild. Against the Colts, same thing happens. But no one really comes to save Mac or help him. What's that all about? The QB is essentially the CEO of a billion-dollar organization, with Mac Jones saying that everyone was off in practice and whatever else. Maybe that stirred up some things. If he wasn't reiterating what Bill Belichick was saying probably in the locker room, who really knows what's going on? Because some of the veterans got pissed off. I mean, one of them came out. You can look it up. Saying you're a rookie. Shut the fuck up. Practically saying, fuck off. You have no idea what this business is about. It's probably not easy, though, being 22 years old and leading a group of men. It's hard for rookies. There's a saying I've heard a lot. or I've heard, not a saying, but like a term, which is a rook-ass rookie. Like you have no idea what you're in for. You haven't even dipped your toe in the football IQ that you will obtain. But I think it's always important to defend your quarterback. With Urban Meyer gone, nothing's changed. Houston beat the fucking shit out of that team in Jacksonville. Holy fuck. I said it before, Urban wasn't the only issue down there. The old versus new still needs to be fucking addressed if they want any sort of success. Some sort of hype needs to happen here. Big decisions need to be happening. Like there's this huge comparison from Urban and MCDC. But clearly Urban fucked up. The players were not picking up what he was putting down. Like seeing... Like, there's a saying, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the perfect execution of that was went on the sideline with head coach of the Ravens. And for some reason, I always forget how to pronounce this guy's last name. John Harbaugh. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that. But he's talking to his players about whether or not they should go for two. You should look up the video. You should look it up. This guy got a lot of brownie points. Seeing a coach care about his players like that, it's an awesome thing. Because, yeah, ultimately he's calling the plays, but he knows his players have to be the one to execute the play. Trying to see if his players have the confidence. Amazing. Their camp is very physical. The Ravens get coached very hard. But the players practice hard because they love their coach. Mark Andrews can be heard in the video saying, let's go win this shit. Really awesome. Really, really awesome. Tom Brady shut out for the first time in 255 games. 255 games. I could have swore, if you would have asked me if he's been shut out before, I would have said at least twice. I didn't know he played for that long without marking a point. Absolutely crazy. Also, too, I think it's hilarious because everyone is calling Tom Brady a wash now and that his winning stretch is dead. Listen, if you're saying this or even thinking this, you don't know anything, okay? Listen, this guy is football Jesus, okay? Whether you hate him or love him, he's the greatest QB the NFL has seen probably ever. 7 Super Bowls. 15-time Pro Bowler. You want to talk about an all-pro? This guy's it. This guy is absolutely crazy. And he's hilarious, too. After he got shut out, he said on his podcast, yeah, they're called the Saints, but I don't think they're very saintly. A saint would have probably let us score once or twice yesterday. So, gotta rethink that nickname. Absolute legend. But here's the thing. This is all you see. Shutout, shutout, shutout. But what happened? No one wants to talk about what happened. Why did they get shut out? What caused the defense of the Saints to perform in such a capacity where you shut out Tom Brady? I want to hear about what the hell happened. There's so much in play here. Chris Godwin getting hurt and how important he is. That's coming straight from Tom Brady's mouth. Mike Evans, Led Fournette, getting Antonio Brown back, and he's not happy at all with how people have been talking about him and everything going on down there. Gronk had a drop. Tom Brady got to the sideline and yelled, "Go fuck yourself," to the defensive coordinator of the Saints, Dennis Allen. First off, Cassius Marsh can't even glance over at the Steelers sideline, but this can happen? What the fuck is this? But That's a whole other fucking conversation that I'm sure I could be on for another 2.5 hours. We've all heard me talk about the refs. I think enough is enough. Cooper Kupp, on good news, on lighter news, is very close to breaking Calvin Johnson's single season record with 340 yards away. Receiving yards, by the way, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. If he doesn't break the record, I'll be surprised. But if he does break the record, there will most definitely be an asterisk beside his name because of the 17-game season. But nonetheless, he will have broken it. I mean, he has a chance to do it in the next 2 weeks. But now, Cooper Kupp needs to keep performing at a very high level, at the level he's performing right now, to win the Lombardi. He needs to win that Lombardi now to get in the talk of the GOAT talk. But I'm curious with Sean McVay acquiring OBJ. Like, are you able to utilize both these players using OBJ the same way that they've been using Cooper Kupp? Because that will be dangerous on the field. Because let's be honest, Kupp is must-see television. He's an absolute beast on the field and a force to be reckoned with. And somehow, ex-Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford keeps finding Cooper Kupp's hands and feeding him the ball. Now, will OBJ be getting the same kind of treatment? Are they slowly working him? Are they checking to see if he's lost his legs? Everyone knows Kupp is going to get the ball. Everyone knows. You're facing the Rams, you know Kupp is going to be catching balls. But no one can stop him. No one can stop this guy. That's absolutely crazy to see. The game against the Seahawks was boring as shit, but still a win. Sean McVay has him in almost every position possible. And it's as if, because of that, they want him to win the record. They want him to beat it. This guy is absolutely crazy. He will run back and forth multiple times. How the fuck do you cover this guy? Because you don't know where he's going until it's too late. Cooper, Stafford, and McVay are on fire. And it seems Cooper is reading the shit out of every defense he comes in contact with. I mean, they came right out and said it's like having two QBs on the field at the same time. He just knows exactly where to play in his routes. He knows every play and every possible route coming against the defense because they have him playing every fucking position. They have Odell for the rest of the year. Will he come back? I mean, he misses games because of muscle injuries, but they say he plays through injuries, blocks people, flies around, high football IQ. Will he see the success of Cooper Kupp and get motivated and want to stay? That could be a huge step for the LA Rams offense. Woods comes back next year. Van Jefferson's playing well. Stafford looks confident. Holy shit. I know people have talked about LA Rams not looking too good in some parts of the season. But I suspect these guys are dangerous next year. I mean, also too, you got a quarterback that can play in the cold. I mean, these guys are going to be dangerous once things start really get rolling. One team that's really rolling right now with steam is the Eagles. Holy fucking shit. Running the ball. Beginning of the season, fans and analysts screaming, hey, why don't we run the fucking ball? Next thing we know, boom. I thought this team was a dumpster fire at the beginning of this season. So much drama, so much bullshit. All of a sudden, they found this rhythm like no other, and holy shit. Jalen Hurts is playing phenomenal football. He's playing great. Devontae Smith making great plays. Filthy player. Are the Eagles in talks for playoffs? Are they a threat? They look like they're really settled. running over 150 yards, like, what, 8 weeks in a row now? They came out of nowhere. They're playing great football now. Now, granted, they didn't face off against the Washington football team's best. You can thank COVID for that. And this success might get swept under the rug because of the whole COVID situation. But regardless, they played fantastic anyway. If they get in the dance and Jalen Hurts plays the way he's playing now, will they have any, success in the playoffs? I mean, Jalen Hurts' era has been fucked. Doug Peterson hitting the road, people leaving, key people, people saying he's the guy, people saying he's not the guy. He was making throws out there where I said, holy shit, I was not expecting that. Out loud. He's a threat. The pick, whatever. Who gives a fuck? It happens. But this guy is playing amazing football. Coach Sirianni, head coach who replaced Doug Peterson, might have struck fucking gold with Hurts. This show, the last couple of episodes, I've talked a lot about new quarterbacks in the last 2 years, 3 years, and because I genuinely believed the Eagles team was a wash. I never talked about Jalen Hurts because I thought it was a wash. But that was a mistake. Jalen Hurts is an animal, and I apologize. I should have talked about him more. I should have put more light on him. But what does that mean for Gardner Minshew? He's more than likely staying number 2 now until he's traded. I'm going to say something crazy here. Something that no one would probably ever expect. But I have full confidence in this team. I have full hope that this team can succeed. I have this thought in my mind for this coach, this specific coach, to take this team to a level that they've never been before. And what is that statement? What's this controversial thing I'm going to say? What's this hot take? Well, the Detroit Lions possibly could be a playoff contender. And I would say no more than 3 years. Mark my fucking words. Something is happening here. It's a slow start, yes. But this team played fucking fantastically against the Arizona Cardinals. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, Goff played great. I still say he's probably much more suited to the back seat. I think they still need to look for another quarterback. The defense was on it against the Cardinals. MCDC has this team going nuts. Dude, is Dan Campbell coach of the year? Like, Dan Campbell got all of his boys, ex-players, to come down and help out. And for a while, it didn't look good. But good God, did they look great against Arizona. Who were number 1, by the way. At some point, people were saying that they were the best in the league. According to the Cardinals, they were saying they got outcoached and outplayed. For me, the Detroit Lions made 0 mistakes. The Lions played a perfect game. Please give the Lions the credit here that they deserve. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Dan Campbell has everyone there all in. This guy, man. Like, Urban Meyer. Made horrible decision after horrible decision. We're not going to get into it. But Dan Campbell wouldn't have even thought about making any of those decisions. It wouldn't have even crossed his mind. They didn't have immediate success, but I think it's slowly coming to fruition. I think they just said, you know what? You know what? Screw getting a good spot in the draft. Let's just get W's. Let's just get wins, boys. And I think that's what's happening. I think Detroit loves Dan Campbell. DC is building something great down there. They're on the right track. Like, yeah, sure, maybe there are players missing from the Cardinals lineup. Maybe better plays could have been called. But maybe the Cardinals just fucking ran into a buzzsaw that DZ turned on a long time ago, man. Like, they fumbled once, defense came back, got an interception right away. What the fuck? Listen, if you haven't watched much football or if you haven't been keeping up, let me just give you a rundown of how the Detroit Lions play. Let me give you a rundown of how the Detroit Lions execute their games, come out real strong. Second quarter, third quarter, all of a sudden, it's game over. For some reason, the other team, whatever team it is, will come back and win by 3, 2, 4. And that's how it keeps going. That's how it keeps going for this team. You know, at one point I flicked back to the game. There were 10 zip. I said, all right. Went back to another game. Came back 17 zip. I was like, oh shit. All right. When's it gonna happen? But it didn't. It didn't happen. Panthers are ranked lower than Detroit in the current rankings. The Detroit Lions are 2-11-1. The Panthers are 5-9. You know what though? This is strictly Matt Rule's fault. Get fucking rid of him the moment our season ends January 10th. Get fucking rid of him. I don't want to spend too much time on this team again. I feel like I said all I needed to say last week, but I needed to point that out. I mean, listen. Granted, rankings are adjusted by week-to-week basis, but it doesn't matter to me. This team fucking stinks, and I'm over it. It's absolutely horrendous. This is a small episode, boys and gals. I had a little bit I wanted to say. I have a lot more too, but you know what? I don't want to drag on this episode. I'm going to keep it nice and sweet, nice and short. One thing I will say. One thing I definitely will say. You guys end up seeing this dumb fucking TikTok of this person zooming in on this player on the Chargers. I'm not too sure who it was. He was wearing an anklet. And everyone lost their fucking mind. And it's all people who don't know anything about football, thinking it's an anklet monitor. Listen. It's a stat contact tracker. I'm not, being shielded or whatever. I'm not crazy or whatever like that, or like whatever that these people think I'm, I'm stuck on being told how life works or whatever the case may, whatever stupid fucking things they say. Okay? It's a stat contact tracker. Let's fucking calm down. The one thing I hate is when people like this start saying random bullshit. And this TikTok had not only a lot of views, but a lot of likes and comments of just blatant ignorance. You also had real players saying, no, this is wrong. This is actually what it is. The stat contact tracker. People were just replying back saying, yeah, okay, buddy, fucking liar, this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, what? I'm so sick of this shit, man. Shit like this gets traction. Next thing you know, articles get written and the NFL looks bad. NFL has felons on the field making millions. I can already fucking see it now. Like, goddamn. Also, a simple fucking Google search could do you guys justice here. Okay? If you don't know, there's a saying that I love. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's better to keep your mouth shut and have people think you're stupid than to open it and prove you are. I don't know much about shit. And in the grand scheme of things, in terms of football, I know a lot compared to a lot of other people. I know a lot. I can't say I know 100% of football because it's impossible. You can't. There's things that happen on teams, sayings, things that isn't revealed to, the public audience or even to analysts or whatever the other case may be, that is strictly stuck within the football culture. So I can never say I know everything about football, but I definitely know a lot. And it bothers me because sometimes I want to reply to these stupid comments and being like, listen, search it up. You got Google. You have the power of Google to look up everything. Now, that's also dangerous at the same time because who knows what you can come in contact with. But I would say, we're all fairly intelligent. 7 times out of 10, you're probably going to run into something, I would say, that's more than likely accurate or very close to it. But that's all I have to say, guys. I thank you guys for listening to the surprise Christmas football special. I know I changed the name from a very special Christmas special or whatever the hell I said at the beginning of this. Honestly, this was all done on a whim. I wanted to pop this episode out before we closed out the year because I know that there's still football going on. There's a possibility there might be another one, but who really knows? I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do one very quickly after this weekend. But you guys know the drill. You can find us at Apple Podcasts and Spotify just by simply looking up Behind the Boards. And also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the BTBshow. If you didn't hear me, that's the BTBshow. You can also find that in our description. Next episode, back after the holidays. Alright, fellas, time for me to, how you doing? Keep it moving. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, be sure to drop a 5-star if you enjoyed it. And to follow our social media to stay up to date with upcoming episodes every week.
Thank you for listening.